Hey guys, so I finally kind of finished making Arakaali's Fang build, and actually the last time I played with Arakaali's Fang was almost exactly 1 year ago. It was 2018, December 16. By the way, the previous video was pretty popular and it was pretty new to people, I guess, but I just miss playing with Arakaali's Fang and I wanted to play with it again, especially with the new difficulty increase, so I wanted to see how it would perform in the new difficulty, and we don't really have anything too special, anything too new for Arakaali's Fang. We got like a couple million support gems like Death Mark and Feeding Frenzy and stuff like that we could incorporate, but other than that, it doesn't have like anything new. I just wanted for nostalgia feeling to play with some kind of minions. And I decided to kind of finish the build, stop the build at level 87. I reached 7.2 thousand life. At level 90 I could reach 7.5 thousand life, which is probably one of the highest life builds that I ever did in a very long time. And the spiders have over 2 million DPS, but that's for single target setup. Most of the time while map clearing I use melee splash, which is around 1.4 million DPS combined. You get 20 spiders. I'm gonna explain how you summon that a bit later, but just overall feel for the build is I was kind of disappointed at some point. It was very smooth for leveling, very pleasant and very high damage. Also gonna have to show you a bit how to properly calculate the damage in PoB. So until like tier 10, tier 11 it was all fine, it was very smooth, but after tier 11 I actually started dying quite a lot. Even after 7,000 life I was still getting one-shotted. To be honest, I don't really pay too much attention to what kind of mods I'm getting on the Metamorph, so yeah, maybe that's my fault. There's annoying part about spiders is that you cannot refresh their duration and you have to wait for them to expire before you can resummon them. And for that you need corpses and you need to do the killing blow. Your other minions cannot kill because it wouldn't count then. So obviously you're not really doing much damage with this, so your kind of only choice is to use Breathing Jar. You throw 2 worms with each use, and you kill those worms. If there are corpses close enough in a certain AoE around you, then you will summon a very inconsistent amount of spiders. You may summon 20, but most of the time it's gonna be 18 spiders if you use Desecrate with Spell Cascade. And by the way, you summon 2 spiders per 1 corpse, so the Desecrate is still fine, despite it being able to summon 10 corpses. Sometimes you just don't summon anything for some reason because you don't kill the worms. By the way, I'm using cremation to kill the worms, and it's not the best thing, but I find it to be the most pleasant because you can just place it and kind of forget it, and you can run around, keep clicking the flask again, or use it. I'm using it for cursor hit as well. Throw it onto enemies and it keeps cursing new enemies, so it works very well. But normally you would probably use like Vortex. Don't use Vortex. Oh my god, I don't want to use Vortex again because Vortex may be too small AoE and the worms just get thrown outside of the AoE of Vortex. And if they try to slowly come back, they don't instantly die, they slowly lose life. And if you got any other minions like let's say Karen Golem or even 2 spiders left from, because you don't summon all of the spiders at the same time, so most of the time you're gonna have to summon them again. So no matter what, you're always gonna have at least some minions left. So those other minions are gonna kill the worms, and you're not gonna raise the spiders because you have to do the killing blow. So this part really frustrated me, and I guess I forgot how annoying it is, especially in the middle of the fight, especially if you have cast and damage taken with the, let's say, Flesh Offering. You throw corpses, you take the damage, and then Flesh Offering triggers it and destroys those corpses, and you got nothing to summon spiders from. And it's just a big mess in the endgame fight, so I didn't really push this to the Conquerors. However, here's what I did. I did tier 16 Vaal Temple, I did tier 15 Beachhead map, I did some tier 15s, well, a lot tier 15s and tier 16s. I did Minotaur map. The Minotaur, according to PoEDB, has, I believe, 32 minion life now. And I did it at Awakener level 2, which boosts its life by 6%, which isn't a big deal. So the Minotaur, for the Minotaur, I used the single target setup instead of melee splash. I used the melee physical damage, and I took it down in like 50 seconds. But I didn't have some conditional things, so my damage was quite a lot lower than normally. I also did some scary tier 16 Minotaurs Metamorph. It was metamorphing into Minotaur and into other things. That one was probably even scarier than the Minotaur itself. And yeah, I have not done any of the Conquerors. By the way, I can insert you a clip showing the smoothness and the speed when you put on Arakaali's Fang in the Blood Aqueducts. As soon as you enter Blood Aqueducts, how fast you can clear it, just for the comparison. It does feel pretty cool and satisfying to run through maps and see the spiders quickly run to enemies before you can see them and kill those enemies. But here's another thing. When you have 20 spiders and have melee splash, it produces the visual effects, the small AoE around enemies. And when 20 spiders are attacking, I notice that my FPS just goes down a lot. And that's because my CPU is not strong enough, especially while streaming, because it goes to 100% and then it's just not capable of calculating all the numbers, because spiders do have poison, we also hit, we have melee splash, so there's a lot of calculation, and it's actually not the visuals, but it's actually the calculation part that is killing the FPS for me. So keep in mind, if you're gonna be playing with Arakaali's Fang, especially if you're gonna be stacking a lot of minion attack speed, you may not be able to run the build because it's just so FPS intensive, I guess, or calculation intensive. So keep in mind that, but the build is actually not expensive. All you need is Arakaali's Fang, which is at around 65 to 70 KS. The price may increase, and the other items just get as much life as possible. I did buy a pretty beefy shield with a lot of armor, but overall I think I spent 2 exalts, maybe 3 at most 3 exalts on the build. But yeah, you can basically start with like 100 KS. If you like these kind of non-meta builds and you're not subscribed yet, be sure to do that and leave a like, or else I'll come to your house at night and leave a nut under your pillow and you're gonna have a bad sleep. So do that. Now quickly, PvP. Now to calculate the damage properly, you actually need to set enemy level to 75, because if you don't, you're just gonna get more damage, and that is because spiders are always level 75, which is why they are so OP at like level 60 when you use them. Once you reach like level 90 and go into like zone level 83, they still remain at level 75. So it's kind of a bit confusing how to probably calculate their damage. This is, by the way, Scion, Guardian, Pathfinder. The reason why I chose that is because you do need to recover your worm flasks, unless you want to carry like 2 or 3 worm flasks, and I don't want to do that. So Pathfinder is kind of a must, because you want to recover those flash charges, and Guardian gives onslaught and gives kind of heal for you. Oh, another thing about spiders is, I'm not exactly sure if PoB is correct about this, but it shows that spiders have 100% accuracy no matter what. It doesn't matter what monster enemy level you enter, it always have 100%. Yeah, but like I said, I was getting one-shotted and I refuse to use shield charge with Fortify. I just hate the idea of doing that. So you can improve the build and adjust for your own liking, for your own style maybe. So yeah, let me talk about the items. So there's nothing too much to explain about. Arakaali's Fang, it doesn't actually have to be linked. You just need 3 sockets, and the support gems that you place inside Arakaali's Fang are gonna support the spiders, which by the way you can see in the window here. It's linked with minion damage, melee splash for clear speed, and then death mark. You probably don't need death mark, you could use something else, but I do like the ability of focusing all their attention to a single target. Like if you get allies cannot die somewhere behind the enemy back, so you kind of force the spiders to ignore the enemies close and just go for the allies cannot die enemy. So that's kind of nice. And also when you focus target, you can kind of move away from the target and spiders would still keep on attacking that target. I do have Pride Aura, which takes 4 seconds to take full effect, which is a bit bad when you're trying to dodge things and trying to stay safe. I also have Skitterbots and Flesh and Stone linked with Maim, so that also requires you to stand close if you are using the blood stance. But if you're using the sand stance, I don't know if it's worth it, because you take less damage from enemies that are outside this AoE, and you blind enemies that are inside it, but I have a jewel for minions to blind it, so it's probably an overkill. I wanted to use aspect of the spider, but it was pretty expensive to get, and I decided to not get it, but it may have been a better option because it would also slow enemies down and help you survive better probably. And then the rest, I did craft a helmet with jagged fossils with nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage on the bone helmet, which increases minion damage. That's my Skitterbots, Flesh and Stone, Pride and Maim. Body armor, just life and resistances, and don't need anything special. A 6 link would be nice because I'm using skeletons in here. Skeletons linked with melee physical damage, minion damage, brutality, and actually using Fortify because I have no minion mitigation, no minion life, so we drop like flies. They have over 1 million DPS combined because I got 9 skeletons, but they don't really do much. They just drop dead, so I'm not sure what else I could use. Instead, I don't want Animate Garden because any minion that can take damage will be dying pretty fast. I was using the Karen Golem linked with Maim and Feeding Frenzy, and like I tried link it with Minion Life or Fortify or Meat Shield, and it was just dying so fast. I couldn't care to keep resummoning him. Then I got the shield, like I said, with decent amount of armor and life. I have Wither linked with Spell Totem and multiple totems. That's to increase the poison damage basically, because spiders do they are physical, but they use Viper Strike all the time, and that Viper Strike I believe is 25% of physical damage converted into Chaos. And this is not an elemental build, but you could do like elemental with those gloves that convert damage, then use elemental equilibrium, different auras, but for some reason I just didn't want to go elemental, since you couldn't get full elemental anyway because of the conversion into Chaos. So the gloves just whatever, life, crafted minion damage. I have cremation linked with course on hit and despair. Actually I could have just placed flame dash in here and just link it with GMP, maybe it would have performed better, but whatever. Belt, life resistances, some armor, just was trying to get armor wherever I could, and that's why this body armor as well. Boots, just whatever as well, life resistances, if you can get dodge, that's nice. Rings, I used Vermilion rings on purpose to get as much life as possible, and just bench crafted the minion movement speed. You don't even need to use essences anymore, just get an open suffix and just craft it. Amulet, I just life, actually I did craft and I was pretty lucky. You may not be able to get the same, but you can easily fix that. I'm gonna explain. So I used I think this is Warlord's influence, whatever it is, amulet, and I wanted to get reduced Pride Aura reservation and also get decent life and resistances. And I got very lucky. I got exactly what I wanted: life, Pride reservation reduction, and then open prefix to craft non-challenging skills have minus total mana cost, which isn't really needed. And I anointed Grave Pact. Grave Pact is this one. Minion damage, minion attack speed, and chance deal double damage. This is actually pretty big damage, and it only requires Azure Oil and 2 black oils, which is pretty cheap. I have cast and damage taken linked with Immortal Coal, and then Desecrate linked with Spell Cascade. You do need Desecrate linked with Spell Cascade, otherwise you will be getting like 10 to 12 spiders when you trigger it. Let's see. There we go, 18 for some reason. It's very inconsistent, and I don't know why. I think the AoE of summoning spiders is just pretty small. Also, look at how creepy the spiders look like. Ugh. Now for the passives, like I said, Scion, Guardian, Ranger, connected to the Ranger to get a bit more life. Currently I have 208% increase life from the passive skill tree, but yeah. And yeah, I got a bit of skill effect duration. It says that my spiders last 57 seconds. For some reason in PvP it's not calculating something. I'm not too sure what. But my spiders last 57 seconds. So I got life, more life, more life, and then dual sockets, minion damage, and ignore all the minion life or minion mitigation because spiders are immune to damage, completely immune to damage. And I think I don't need to worry about minion accuracy if the PvP is correct. Also got Elvish Batteries to be able to reserve all of the mana. Also, if you don't have the amulet like this, just don't link Maim to your Flesh and Stone, and you should be able to. Yeah, you will be able to use the same auras. You can just use Maim linked to like skeletons. The next video I actually started the Ignite Flame Blast, but I'm like level 45 and I'm already bored of it. I haven't played with the Flame Blast in ages, especially with Ignites, so I felt nostalgic about it, but it's kind of boring. It's just an Ignite. I don't know, I may just reach like level 70 and quit that build, so the video may be pretty soon. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.